Welcome to Art Loves Fashion. I'm your host, Davila-Irving. I'm an image consultant, professional developer, art curator and collector, a wife and a mom. This show, Art Loves Fashion, is about, you guessed it, art, love, and fashion. We'll be meeting new people, trying interesting things, and hopefully learning something new. Sounds kind of vague, right? That's because I want you to join me on Sundays at 5 o'clock as we take a journey of all things creative and beautiful with art, loves, fashion. Welcome to Art Loves Fashion. I am your host, Davila-Irving, and thanks for joining me for another conversation about all things beautiful and creative. I have a fun show for you today. One of my faves is back. Melissa of 8th House Wisdom is here to give us the month ahead, and she's also going to share an exciting new book with us that will take us into our love segment. So I'd like to bring Melissa on so that she can share with us what we need to be finding out from the stars. Welcome again, Melissa. Glad to have you back.
Thank you for having me back, Sharonda. I am so happy to be here and to give everybody the tea on what's going down for May and June. Because let me just tell you, this month is popping. And we need to know what's going on because it's going to be full of magic and beginnings and endings. But it is probably one of the busiest months of this year.
The month of June?
The month, yes.
That's
the
my
month
birthday
June
month. Yes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot in the air. And Gemini season, it just makes sense that it will be a lot going on.
Absolutely. Rolling from May into June, which has been it has been such a big deal. Rolling into June, there are a lot of things that just got established towards the end of the month of May that are really going to be pivotal. And of course, yes, Gemini season. I'm on here with one of my favorite Gemini people. I myself have a Gemini rising. So it is going to be time for us to communicate. But you know, Sharonda, that lovely thing we love that most people know about astrology, that they like to talk about, the Mercury retrograde. Mm-hmm. Well, it started on May 30th. So it's going to be an interesting month.
So we have to review and refresh and renew and rethink again. Remember,
so I tell everybody, Mercury retrogrades are quarterly reviews. We started off the year having one. They happen pretty much every 3 months.
Okay.
And this year,
you said that.
Yeah, and it happened this year. All the Mercury retrogrades are happening in air signs. So it happened during the time of Aquarius between January and February. It's happening again right now for the month, for the end of May into June for Gemini, which is another air sign. And it will revisit us again when we get down to Libra in October, closer to my birthday. But the interesting thing about what we are walking into within this month to start is the fact that Mercury retrogrades all the time, but Mercury is going to be retrograding in its home sign. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. That's why Gemini people like to talk and get into all kinds of things. So this is going to be more of a traditional, straight up, like in the neighbors, siblings, communication, day-to-day travel. Those are going to be the areas of life that Mercury is going to be moving about in. but it might be a little bit more gentle with us than normal because it's at home. So it won't make as much of a mess as it does in other signs. It knows its way around. But in particular for this one, we have become so dependent on on Zoom in our lives. Please, and technology, please, everyone, get a hard drive or a backup disk and back everything up in your life.
Hey man, you are really singing my song on that one because I backed up my hard drive at work. I'm gonna go do another one just in case.
I just want you to, this is those times, measure twice, so you cut once. Cut once. Really want, please.
Now let me ask you a question with that. Like, people, when does that start, or and although there's like this start time, like, does it? Do you start to get like?
Yes. Around May 17th is when the shadow of Mercury's retrograde begins. So the shadow is when the planet, because the retrograde really is an optical illusion, but from where that planet is in its orbit and Earth is in its orbit, it looks like it's moving backwards. So from the 17th of May up until like the 29th or the 30th, it looks like the planet is slowing down. Okay. And so you begin to start to feel the initial trinkles of what will come, boom, on the 30th. The actual backwards motion period is only 21 days. So it appears to look like it's moving backwards. And then when it finally stations or it stops moving, it's got to go back over that shadow period to get back to where it is. So it gives us about a 5-6 week period of dealing with an acute issue. You get a little foreshadowing at the beginning or some hints for where it's going to happen. The feeling more of like, okay, things are out of whack will happen in that, or the first 3 weeks of June. And then towards the end of June, we'll be clarifying, resetting, and getting ourselves ready for the next 3 uninterrupted months by Mercury retrograde.
Can I just tell you something? So this is the thing that whenever you're telling me this stuff, I don't know about anybody else, and that's why I love having you on, and I have to, I'm always telling my listeners, like, go back and listen to this, because some of the things that may come up, I'm like, Melissa talked about this, but right now, what you're talking about happening is literally describing like what's going to be happening for me like over the next month or so, which is exciting and a little nerve-wracking because I also have a trip planned. Y'all know the world is opening up. Like, if Mercury retrograde, don't play around with people in their trips. Does this just mean we need to just get to the airport earlier? Or make sure you got that trip insurance?
Yeah, no, you please have your trip insurance. And the reason why I'm saying this is because not only is June a big month, particularly for Mercury retrograde, throughout the month of May, a number of planets went retrograde. Everybody knows Mercury retrograde. It's like the pumpkin spice latte of astrology. But every planet goes retrograde. So we have had, in May, we had Jupiter and Venus go retrograde, and then the end of the month, Mercury went retrograde. Jupiter's the planet of expansion, so we're going to kind of expand, and we're going to implode instead of explode. That's backwards motion for Jupiter. We have Venus retrograde, so like how we're attracting people outwardly is going to turn into more of an inward focus. And then we have Mercury retrograde, and May popped off with an eclipse on the 26th, and eclipses come in pairs. So June 10th, we're going to have another eclipse. And a lot of this is based in the travel areas of our chart and signs. And so I want people to have travel insurance. if the world is opening back up, but one thing you are going to probably see, y'all can come back and check it out, is that with the eclipses that are coming up, borders are going to open and then close and then close and then open. Kind of like the reopening has been in for COVID for the past year. So I want people to have insurance to make sure that they're really well covered. I recommend ground travel right now. If you're doing air travel, you better have you some. Just have it just in case. You can go off. You can go off without there being a hitch. The last time I traveled during Mercury retrograde, it was international. It was one of the last times I traveled internationally during my birthday.
Don't scare me.
Nope, I missed a few trains. And ended up deciding we weren't going to do a train anymore. We were going to take a plane. What we knew was that we were walking into it that way. So what we did was take deep breaths, because you don't want this to keep you grounded.
Yes.
Hello, we've been in the house for 15 months.
Oh, my goodness.
No longer.
Melissa, you always just give me so much insight. So what I just, the funny thing is at work, I have learned at work that I am the recapper. So I always like to be like, so what I'm hearing you say is.
I love the recapping. Go, coach. Yes.
So we are going into the quarterly review.
Yes. Season
of life. So we need to be making sure that this is the time to go back and review things, review contracts, review agreements. I remember you saying anything that has the word "re" in it, now is the time to do those things. But as the month moves forward, although it's coinciding with like lifting these mask mandates and like people feeling like they can go and travel, we need to be cautious and prepared for some changes and some glitches and hitches.
Yes, we do. Primarily, again, because the big events being, the two major things that I think I would want people to know about happening in June, which are extremely powerful, and you'll forgive me, I'm just checking my little calendar, because May and June are so incredibly busy. There's a lot to recap. But on June 10th, which will be my grandmother's 91st birthday.
God bless her.
Yes, God bless her. We will be having a full, we're going to have that is a annular eclipse, solar eclipse. On that. So that is, it is a full moon. And so it will be the pair related to the eclipse that we're having. So that'll be, we'll have an eclipse in Gemini, and we will just have had its pair, because Gemini and Sagittarius are paired. They're opposing signs. So we will have the lunar eclipse. We have the lunar eclipse at the end of May 26th, which is going to be bringing in, so lunar eclipses, more or less, they fall on a new moon. So they bring new beginnings. And solar eclipses always fall on a full moon. So they mean endings. They always are spaced 2 weeks apart from each other, because that's the space between a new moon and a full moon. So in the middle of this review that we have for Mercury retrograde, we are also being promised great beginnings and great endings. And so you need to, and again, and it's still in the same sign of Gemini and Sagittarius. So we're having a lot of concentrated energy in the air signs. If anybody thinks that they may be going crazy because their brain is super active, it's not. It's just, we are in the age of air. We are going to have almost a 7-car pileup in the sign of Gemini. So even if you are not used to having an active mind, your mind is going to be active. And depending upon where Gemini falls in your chart, it's going to make you even busier than before. Busy and dualistic.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So on that note, I want to encourage you, because I want to make sure that one of the other tools, like as I'm listening, I'm always like, okay, so how do I harness that energy?
Yeah.
Let's take a short break. And when we come back, Melissa's going to tell us about some of the tools that she has that can help you to harness all of this crazy energy. I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be calling Melissa for some personal one-on-one, because I am a Gemini and all this sounds crazy. And yeah, I need the map. I need my own map mapped out. Guidance. But stay tuned, and after the break, Melissa will explain some of the tools that she has that can help you guide your way through this, and as well as your love life. Hey guys, this is Davila-Irving, image consultant and host of Art Loves Fashion. If you missed today's episode, don't worry, don't stress. You can go to my YouTube channel and see today's episode, as well as some of my other past episodes. You'll be able to see some of my super fantastic guests, as well as fun content. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure that you leave me something in the comments. Don't forget, our airing schedule is every second and fourth Sunday from 5 to 6 o'clock. Tune in with me live on Facebook and on YouTube. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, guys, so we're back from our break with Melissa of 8th House Wisdom. And so one of the things that, in addition to all of Melissa's many talents, she also has lots of tools. So when she comes on and she's telling us all of the things that are happening astrologically, I know I'm furiously like taking mental notes or like writing things down, but the great thing is that she also has some tools and some other ways for you to really be able to dig a little bit deeper into the information that she's giving out. And two of those things that she actually has 2 books. One of them is called Astrologically Happy Ever After, and her newest book is called Lunar Wisdom Formula. So Melissa, can you talk a little bit about one of the things I asked about, and people often ask astrologers, is how can they use astrology to not only map out business and family, or business and personal, but specifically their love life. So how can these tools help viewers map that out?
Well, thank you. That is a great question. And I love talking about this stuff. The 2 books that I've written in particular, there are a million astrology books available for people, but I've written 2 books specifically for women and from the female's perspective. And so Astrologically Happy Ever After is written to talk about the matching of sun signs and moon signs. It helps you to understand what makes you astrologically compatible with another person. And it's not just your sun sign, because most people know their sun sign based on the day that they're born, but every planet in our solar system has a sign because it was present in the sky on the day that you were born. So it's all that information that we need. We don't go super deep into that because most people are novice at this. But what I do provide is descriptions of all of the sun signs and moon signs, and also in particular Mars and Venus, to help you be able to use astrology. I mean, look, it's a tool for timing and calendaring and checking. And then with the Lunar Wisdom Formula that we have up, that is, I think, the way to get into yourself. You need to know where you're at as a woman, and you need to know how to tap into your sacred feminine energy. And so this book is called A Woman's Manifestation Guide to Align with Your Sacred Feminine Energy and Intuition by the Moon. The moon is looked at as the mother in astrology, as women are natural menses and cycle are tuned to the 28 to 29.5 days of it. And so it governs the tides. If we learn to follow the patterns of the moon, because it's predictable, it's in a sign about every 2.5 days. It takes on a different color and character in each sign that it is in. If you know where the moon is each day, it can help you know what the tone of your day is going to be in. If you then follow the moon each month and follow it from new moon to full moon back to new moon, you can figure out what of the 12 areas, according to astrology, are of life are going to be activated for you. You know,
so so what do you mean? Give me an example of what that means.
Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do it. We'll do it with me because I know my chart by heart. So we have the June moon in the June full moon is going to be on the 10th. I am a Scorpio with a Gemini rising, and rising just means it's a line through, imagine a line through the earth, it's the horizon line. So Gemini was kind of sitting at the horizon when I was born. So using my chart as a good example, when we have that full moon solar eclipse on the 10th, I'm going to have a full moon in my first house, which is the house of self, the house of physical appearance, the house of my voice, and potentially my fame and how I'm seen in the world at large. So having a full moon in my first house, the Lunar Wisdom Formula would say, hey, stuff about how you look, how you appear, how you want to appear to other people is going to be activated because it's in your first house. And because it's a full moon, I should expect that things are ending or completing or moving into maturation, not starting or beginning, because it's not a new moon. So those two pieces alone give me indications of what I can expect energetically from the 10th of June until we get to the new moon. So now, if I want to manifest something, you know, manifestation is about understanding when the energy is going to be right to do something. Like,
okay,
if I wanted to manifest $1 million, I would wait until the next month when the moon is in my house of money. Right now, so for June 10th, something that I am planning on doing with the lovely Miss Sharonda is I am working on rebranding. I need to be thinking about image related things.
Okay.
So I'm putting a lot of time into thinking about, like, if I wanted to cut my hair, if I wanted to do something new with makeup, if I wanted to do a wardrobe update, that would be the time to do that. Energy is most favorable. And if there was something goal related that I wanted to do that was specifically about me, this 2-week period would be prime real estate time for doing this. So once you learn what to do with a full moon and what to do with the new moon and what part of your chart it's lighting up, then you can be like, oh, I did want to do XYZ. It would be good to do it during this cycle. For many people, it's the missing part of what we're doing in our planning process. Goals, you got things that you want to do. The third piece is not just plopping it on your calendar. It's putting it on your calendar when the energy is favored.
So now that makes sense. And that takes me back to like conversations that I have with people who are, I have so many other thoughts about that. Like our entrepreneurs, our busy moms, and those kinds of folks who, for them, calendaring and planning is so essential. I really can see how that tool would be super helpful for them. And so I know that it's an ebook. Is it a workbook? How do you recommend for people to use it?
It's an ebook that can function as a workbook. So, you know, the goal here is to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I wanted this book to be an opportunity for women to tap into becoming a better manifester and learning more about these cycles without having to do all of the research that is needed. So one of the things that I give you within the book, and it's an ebook because it needs to be updated pretty regularly, is this year's version has every full moon and every new moon that's coming. That way I'm not telling you watch for the full moon, watch for the new moon, and you don't know what time or where it's going to happen.
Yes.
And I'm giving that from a North American perspective. So my South American, North American, yes, but South American, but Northern Hemisphere particularly. Yes. I work with some people in Australia and stuff too, and so we're in the inverse. Okay. But also, so I'm giving you that information as well as additional tools specifically for thinking through, because new moons are a time to plant seeds and full moons are the time to reap the harvest, at least. The 2 weeks that it takes from a new moon to a full moon, you're probably gonna get a sprout. That's the micro level of that cycle. The larger level of that cycle is it's 6 months between a new moon and the new moon in Sagittarius, and then the full moon will happen in December. So you're working with cycles within a cycle. Mm-hmm. And so learning to like use a reflective tool, like, okay, if this new moon is in my house of self, I have a worksheet here to go. What is it that I'm looking to manifest? What are things that I want to focus on? Moon, especially for women, because calendaring is actually pretty masculine in the way that it works. Energetically, it's masculine because it doesn't think about subtle energies and aspects of intuition.
That's why calendaring is so hard for me.
Right.
I'm gonna chalk it all up to that because it's just too masculine for my feminine side.
It's the truth. It's one of the reasons why I did this. I'm also, I have a background as a special ed person. I have ADHD. I need a calendar like nobody's business, but I need it to resonate with my energy. And because we are by the moon, the sun is constant. The sun in astrology stays in the same sign for 30 days. It only goes through 3 changes. There's the first 10 days of the sign, the second 10 days, and the third 10 days in a 30-day period. The moon in 29 days hits all 12 signs every 2.5 days.
That's why women so daggone crazy.
Exactly. That's us as women. We are every 2 days, you are shifting. And so calendaring needs to be more about the fact that I might have set this 2 days ago, but today I'm not feeling it. So you need to know the energetic feel. I mean, it's the same thing for a woman with packing. It's like, I got to bring extra stuff because I don't know if I'm going to feel.
Because I might change my mind.
Exactly. And men are always like, what are you talking about? I might change my mind. But that is practical. And we oftentimes get shamed for doing that. And then we take on these masculine tools.
Oh my God. Say that. Okay. Because you are hitting the... Go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but that... And so I wanted this to feel feminine, because if we tap into the moon and really follow her cycles, you start to feel more in rhythm and flow. You start to appreciate the changes in your mood. You start to feel less concerned with how people are talking to you and saying, oh, you're moody and all of, I'm supposed to be. The moon just changed signs and I'm on this right now. But I think it's a permission slip. Astrology is my teacher, Deborah Silverman, is always talking about. Astrology is like giving people permission slips to be who they are and be what they are. And especially in this tech age, we are not paying close enough attention to the moon. I have found that while I don't always know what day of the week it is, I know where I'm at throughout this year that we have just dealt with by orienting myself to look up to the sky and see what phase the moon is in. And usually the phase that the moon is in, because I understand my own Lunar Wisdom Formula, is reflective of where my life is. And so I feel like this turns calendaring into a individualized sport, so to speak. And not just because you got a different life than I do, but because it's really taking into account your unique stellar birthright, your stellar imprint from birth. Yours is going to be different from mine. You're going to feel differently. than I feel. The moon's gonna activate a different place for you, but we can both glean the information that we need and put it to good use.
I love that. I will be downloading my lunar guide today, because as you all heard, like, your Gemini hostess will be having a lot going on next month. And those of you who know me personally, like, y'all know I'm gonna need something to just ground me to make sense of it all. And so how do people get the book? And I want to recap though, like, one of the reasons why we talked about this, I think, under the umbrella of love is, one, those of you who really are specifically interested in like engineering your love life, definitely get the Astrologically Happily Ever After. But it also, if you are looking to like engineer your life.
Yeah. But they go hand in hand. I will say this. Lunar Wisdom Formula has come out of me trying to re-engineer my life to set love up, because really, once you recognize that the barriers that you're experiencing for love are really the ones that are internal, then people, especially if you are in my age range or above, and so you've been in a relationship, you know yourself and you know what works and what doesn't, you are usually the only common denominator in the situation that you are going on. So if you got same stuff, different day, it's probably because you have been there. So
I didn't say that. She said it.
Instead of they're all bad, which they may be, but even when we have off pickers, we need to look at what's going on with our pickers, which means usually we're out of sync. And most of us, when searching for love, are out of sync with our own intuition and our sacred feminine energy. Because if we sat in our sacred power, it's a lot of stuff we used to go for that we wouldn't even look at in the same way anymore. And so that, I think, is why these two resources work hand in hand, because one is about learning about how to be a better partner, or to better get along and relate to people outside of your context and what that mix is. And the other one is, how do I show up fully as the best person and a whole person so that I can enrich the relationship by packing light and not dragging a bunch of suitcases worth of issues behind me.
I love it. I love it. How can they get these resources, or how can they get, and also how can they get Melissa herself?
Why, thank you for asking. So both books are available on my website, which is 8thhousewisdom.com, for immediate digital download. Astrologically Happy Ever After is also available, because it's not the same workbook style. It is available in PDF form, but also in EPUB form, so you can put it on your e-reader and you can to Apple Books or to Kindle. And so both of them are listed under the My Books category, but they're also on my homepage. And in particular, I wanted to say there's a wonderful bonus in the Lunar Wisdom Formula, which talks about an advanced astrology technique. The moon is just an amazing, amazing thing for you to focus on. It also, the moon moves, like I said, it moves into each sign each month, but you also individually have a 29-month lunar phase that you're in that can tell you where you're at in your life. And so I also provide that information to let you know what phase you are going to be in, and where you're going to be. Are you going to be in an introverted phase or an extroverted phase? So it gives you like the top note, thinking about wine or perfume or anything that you taste, that gives you like the top note of where you're going to be at. So I'm going to be in this container of focusing on this. And then each month I'm going to be focusing on this thing with a little sprinkle of that energy. I think the more information we can layer, the more you know about yourself, the better you can make moves and be the person that you want to be in this lifetime. It's about finding our soul purpose and doing it, not keeping up with everybody else. You need to be looking to your chart to figure out what you're doing, not on Instagram or anybody else. And that is information you were born with. And so that's something I can also help you with. Charts and books are wonderful, but I've been doing this almost 20 years. So if you sit down to have a reading with me, I can tell you your life story by reading a picture.
And so they can get those tools, and they can also set up a session with you. And how would they contact you?
Yes,
also
on my website. On my website are lists for services and with scheduling tools. So you can check in to see if you just want to dip your toe in it and get a core astrology reading. If you want to get a tarot reading because you want something more specific, I have all of those resources available for you. As well as, and I see up there, you can also check your chart out. I just actually added this to this free horoscope chart. Is how you determine where all your planets are in astrology. You just need to know your date of birth and where you were born and the time. If you don't know the time, there's a box to check that. It'll give you a pretty little picture and a map, and you can go from there using the formulas in my book and really knowing a lot for yourself. And that there is free. So
yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh.
So you guys go to 8th House Wisdom, check out all of the tools that Melissa has available to just continue to harness the energy and be more in line with your purpose. And follow her on Instagram under 8th House Wisdom is your Instagram?
I'm at Reigning Queen of Cups.
Queen of Cups. That's right. Yeah. And I follow you. So I was trying to just do it off the top of my head, but it's Reigning Queen of Cups on Instagram. And are you on Facebook?
I am. We are 8th House Wisdom on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And so we're going to go to break, and we will transition into our final segment of the day. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to our final segment, the fashion segment. Yay. I don't know if we were supposed to do shoe cam, but I guess we can do that later. All right, so final segment on fashion. So, as you guys know, sometimes I'm giving you tips around specifically your wardrobe. But today I wanted to give you guys a little bit of some information around another part of looking great that I think is super important. One of the things that I always encourage clients and friends and loved ones in general is that you cannot look good without taking care of yourself. And one of those pieces of taking care of yourself is your skin. So I believe that makeup should be optional, and that there are things that you can do to make sure that when you step out, whether it's hashtag no makeup, hashtag no filter, and you're just hitting the ground, or you're coming on camera for a video conference, that skin is flawless, and that when you do choose to use makeup, you have created the best possible palette that you can to prepare your skin for the makeup. And so I wanted to start with the first thing that is super, super important to having great looking skin, and that actually is making sure that you are working to reduce your stress levels. And there's two products that I want to share with you, and as you guys know, I guess I want to be fully transparent that I am an Arbonne consultant. And so that means that when I am talking about things that are fashion related and when I am working with clients, I'm always sharing information about the Arbonne lifestyle, because it is a whole 360 lifestyle brand that incorporates wellness and nutrition and skin and makeup, but from a natural standpoint, a plant forward standpoint, non-toxic standpoint, that helps you to develop a lifestyle that encourages you to flourish. And so within that, like I said, when it comes to trying to have healthy skin, and that natural glow, the first step is to make sure that you are reducing your stress and getting the proper amount of rest. So 2 products from Arbonne that I want to share with you, amongst the many, 2 products I want to share with you that are some of my favorites are, number 1 is the detox soap. Now, let me just tell you guys, this is not staged. Like, I did not go get some like empty containers or pretty boxes. This is the stuff that I really, really actually use. And so this one is a detox soap. The detox soap, I put this in my bath, and it actually has, I need to read the ingredients on this, but I will tell you the whole detox line actually has ingredients in it that not only make your skin feel good, but there's like an aromatherapy aspect to it, that as you're laying there, you're soaking in hot water, your skin is softening and you're getting like this olfactory experience that will help you to relax and unwind. If you're not a bath person, there is a body scrub that goes along with this and a body oil that goes along with this that will give you that same soft skin and aromatherapy experience. However, sometimes when you are just in a place in life where you need to just relax and de-stress and really monitor where you are with your stress factors, a hot bath is super important. A couple of weeks ago, I usually don't watch the news that much, but there's always so much going on in the news, and I had saw something that was particularly upsetting, and it threw me off for like a couple of days, and I had a little self-check-in, like, you know what? You need to take a moment and really do some intentional steps to de-stress. And so I went and I pulled out my detox soap. I got in the tub and I did something else, which is my second step that I want to share with you, one of my second favorite products, and that is Arbonne Inner Calm. This is a powder that you add. It's a de-stress powder that you add to kind of any liquid. I tend to add it to something hot like a tea, and it really does help to de-stress you. It has ashwagandha and it has saffron, which are 2 natural ingredients that really help to buffer against stress. It helps you to sleep so much better, and it also helps to balance out your mood. And also, one of the things, it also has like a skin toning effect. So it has, ashwagandha does something to your skin. It helps to improve the tone. I take it for the stress reducing properties, but I'm always constantly working on I'm always trying to work on my skin regardless. But when you take this, you add it to a hot cup of tea in a bath, your nervous system is soothed. You can fall asleep and you can stay asleep. I'm telling you, you will wake up the next morning like, oh shoot, I was asleep the whole night. And for a lot of us, especially around this time, we can't take that for granted, because it's not necessarily happening for everyone, whether it's due to stress and like working and all those kinds of things. So de-stressing or buffering against the amount of stress is one of my first tips to good skin, glowy skin, and just leveling up that part of your regimen. The second tip that I have, or the second step that I have to taking care of your skin and looking good and elevating that part, is amazing skincare. One of the things that I like to tell my clients is that we often talk about like leveling up, and we're leveling up our wardrobe and we're bossing up on this and that. One of the things that you should be making sure that you're doing is leveling up your skincare. I know for a long time I was an oil of Olay girl. I was an oil of Olay girl because that's what my mother was. But my lifestyle, there was so many new products, and I have access to, the department store brands and that kind of thing. And so I had gotten intentional about my skincare regimen, but I came to Arbonne. I was originally just I used the nutrition products through Arbonne, and then I decided to try the skincare. One of the things that was important to me was the fact that when I look at the ingredient list, so many of the ingredients in skincare are known toxic ingredients. Some of them are even like potentially harmful. I won't use some of the other words, but this is plant forward. If you're a vegan, you should be using skincare that aligns with what you actually put on a spoon and eat. United States only has probably about 70 ingredients that are on the banned list, and that might even be too high. But Arbonne has over triple the number of banned ingredients, triple the number of ingredients banned from its list than is what's in the United States. In Europe, I think it's like 1,200 ingredients. Arbonne even exceeds that number. So they are really diligent about leaving out all of the junk that you don't want to put on your skin. Now, some people are like, I'm not vegan. I don't really care about that. And that's cool. The other part is that it just is a superior skin care regimen. And the reason why I say it's superior, the reason why I say it's high quality is the thickness of the cleanser, the thickness of the moisturizer, the emolliency of the toners, and the effectiveness of the ingredients that are in the product. Just make it a superior and a really high quality product. My personal skincare regimen is, and it takes me, I'm always like rushing. People who know me, I'm always like, I need to be able to do something in 10 minutes. I need to be able to do something in the car. And so my morning routine consists of cleanser, toner. Always, ladies who are in my age bracket, I do not skip this step. Eye cream and a serum. I do not skip this step. I might not do it morning and evening. Well, I do my eye cream morning and evening, but I never skip this step. Cleanse, tone, treatment, and then moisturizer. I have a day cream and I have a night cream. The day cream has SPF in it, and the night cream doesn't. The night cream is a little bit thicker. Let me show you guys. And my stuff is half empty because I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. So this is the night cream, and it's super rich. It goes on, and you don't even need a lot. So that little dab goes on. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel heavy. It leaves your skin really moisturized. I don't know. I'm trying to find the, yeah, that's my hand. But you can see that little moisturization coming through. And I put this on at night. My teenage daughter gave me a tip, which was not to do my skincare regimen right before I'm going to bed, because then you lay down on your pillow and things are going to get rubbed off. So I do it before I get ready to lay down so that I can walk around, and that's when I'm doing like my final like shutdown of the evening, so that it can absorb the absorption of the product. And then when you wake up in the morning, I promise you're going to feel like that whole I woke up like this. You really do wake up with this moisturized skin. You wake up with the under eye circles being reduced. You start to see some of the blurring of the, whatever fine lines that are of concern. So, and then when you smell it, it doesn't smell offensive. It doesn't smell chemical-ish. But one of the reasons why I also say that like skincare, leveling up your skincare is also important is because many of us are seeking and striving towards a lifestyle that reflects the hard work that we do and this station of life where we are starting to be able to reap the benefits of hard work. And one of the things that I feel like makes me feel great is when I use really good skincare. I might not have time to do during the week. I may not have time to really sit down and give myself a whole spa day at home. But in the morning, when I wash and cleanse and moisturize my face, using a great skincare product makes me still feel like I had a self-care moment. I'm using a product that is good for my skin, is going to give me the kinds of results that I want. And I feel like I use something that's really pretty luxurious. So that is step 2 to like leveling up. So you got, make sure you're getting some good rest. Make sure your skincare product line is meeting your needs. That is a luxurious skincare product line. And then the last thing that you need to be doing is taking care, and it also goes along with this, is your makeup. So your makeup is your last step. So I'm going to tell you my 3 favorite products for makeup through Arbonne. One, you'll see it on the screen, is the 5-piece brush set. And the 5-piece brush set is amazing. I have mine on the table. It looks so beat up because I throw it in every bag that I own. But on the screen, it shows you like those are probably the 5 most often used brushes. They are synthetic brushes, but they are super, super, super high quality brushes. We don't need to use animal hair anymore in order to get like superior results with our makeup application. And for those of you who are also vegan and like animal activists, you don't have to worry about that. That's a picture of my makeup, my 5-piece brush set, looking well used. And you will be able to see over there on the corner, there's, when you open it, there's a pocket, and you can squeeze all of your like daily essentials into that pocket. So you can grab your brush set, grab your, if you move over some, you'll be able to see the pocket a little bit. Grab your brushes, grab your makeup, shove that in the little pocket, and you're good to go to look great and refresh on the fly. So that to me is like that 5-piece brush set. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my staples. And then my other 2 faves that everybody should be doing, in addition to making sure that you're using great eye cream, because people are wearing masks, you may not always be able to see everything, but you got to make sure your eyes look great. And so the 2 things for eyes is Arbonne's mascara, which is, this one is Speaks Volumes. This mascara, it's amazing. It lifts, it separates, it lengthens. And this was actually on the Wall Street Journal's like top list of like the top mascaras. And it was pretty high on the list. Like it was in front of some of the more well-known mascara products. So you need your good mascara. I don't know about you, but I don't like going outside with mascara. I need a little extra something, especially if I'm not wearing lashes or eyelash extensions at the moment. This stays in my 5-piece brush set, or it stays thrown in my purse. So you need Speaks Volume mascara, and you need a good brow, honey. We know we need a good brow. So you also need your Arbonne brow pencil. The great thing about this one is that it's 2 sides to it. It's your brush, so you can brush those brows up, get them into shape, and then you have your other end, which is the actual brow pencil. And the good thing about this one is that it is retractable, in and out. And again, it fits into your 5-piece brush. And you're still giving them eyes, you're still giving them great skincare, you're still giving them, we still on? Oh, still giving them great skin and really beautiful eyes. And so as you're looking fabulous, you're getting your wardrobe all the way together. Don't neglect your skin. Don't neglect your face. And there's a way for you to be able to do that in a healthy way, in a way that promotes beauty from the inside out. And that's always the sign of a well-dressed individual, is looking good from the inside out. So That's all I have for you today for the fashion segment. Oh, you know what? When you go to my site, because I should tell you how to find these Arbonne products. If you go to my website, SharondaIrving.com, there will be a tab across the top that says Shop My Faves. And at the bottom, it says Shop Beauty and Wellness Products. And that will take you straight to my Arbonne store. Once you get to the Arbonne store, you can go across the top and find any of the categories you would like to shop for. And you also can click on where it says to learn about the business opportunity. You can click on Join Us. So if you're also looking for another stream of income, there's a way to be able to do that as well. And if you have any questions about any of the products that you saw me talk about today, or any other health and wellness and beauty products, give me a call, hit me up, hit me on my website. There's a client contact form there, and I will be sure to be able to talk to you all about what you're looking for and how I can help to fill your need for any of those things, including image consulting and style coaching. So on that note, you guys have a wonderful rest of the Sunday, and I thank you for spending your time with me. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram. Don't forget when you go to YouTube to like, share, and subscribe. And check out some of the previous episodes of Art Loves Fashion. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, this is Sharonda-Irving, image consultant and host of Art Loves Fashion. If you missed today's episode, don't worry, don't stress. You can go to my YouTube channel and see today's episode, as well as some of my other past episodes. You'll be able to see some of my super fantastic guests, as well as fun content. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure that you leave me something in the comments. Don't forget, our airing schedule is every second and fourth Sunday from 5 to 6 o'clock. Tune in with me live on Facebook and on YouTube. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Welcome to Art Loves Fashion. I'm your host, Sharonda-Irving. I'm an image consultant, professional developer, art curator and collector, a wife, and a mom. This show, Art Loves Fashion, is about, you guessed it, art, love, and fashion. We'll be meeting new people, trying interesting things, and hopefully learning something new. Sounds kind of vague, right? That's because I want you to join me on Sundays at 5 o'clock as we take a journey of all things creative and beautiful with art, loves, fashion.